Joining us now is Dan Herbert. He is the attorney who represented former Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke in the shooting death of Laquan McDonald. Good morning. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning.
I'm curious about your reaction. You notably had Jason Van Dyke take the stand in his own defense. Do you think it was his mistake that Derek Chauvin did not?
Well, from the lawyer's perspective, that's truly a decision of the defendant. I can understand the lawyer agreeing with not putting him on, but I'll be honest, I can't understand Derek Chauvin's decision not to testify. If it were me and I were a police officer, I would want to do everything in my power to convince this jury of what was going through my mind. So to me, that was surprising.
What's your assessment of the defense that he received?
Well, there's an old saying that good facts make a good lawyer. The lawyer had bad facts in this case. I thought he did what he could do, but he knew his case a lot better than everyone else. He's going to be subjected to Monday morning quarterbacking, and that comes with the territory. But it's hard to do that in my position, I think.
What are your thoughts about sentencing, and what do you think will happen in this case?
Sentencing, they're going to bring in, everything that we did not hear about Derek Chauvin in the criminal trial because they were deemed inadmissible for various reasons. We're going to hear about that. And then we're going to hear about some of the good stuff that Derek Chauvin has done. The prosecutors in this case have indicated that they're going to seek an aggravated sentence. And then, there will be witnesses that will come in that will talk about prior bad acts of Derek Chauvin, and there will be witnesses that come in and talk about what a great person Derek Chauvin is. And at the end of the day, the judge is going to sort it out and come up with the sentence that he believes is appropriate.
Yeah, so the guidelines say about 12.5 years, but you mentioned aggravated. What are the standards for that? What are some of the things that prosecutors will argue there?
Well, the basis for an aggravated sentence in this case is that it involved facts that warrant aggravation, such as there was supposedly some young kids that saw this, the aggravating nature of kneeling on somebody until they suffocated and died in front of them. So there are aggravating factors, and at the end of the day, my guess is the court is going to look at this and say, here's an individual, it was a terrible act what he did, but he has no background. We have to treat him like every other defendant that comes before me.
Yeah, Dan, what about the other officers who stood there? Are they trying to cut a deal this morning after seeing this jury verdict?
They probably are. And I'll be honest, in these types of cases, plea bargaining usually goes nowhere because the prosecutors are not going to cut a deal that will be deemed being lenient in any way because of the public backlash here. So at the end of the day, it's going to go to trial is my guess.
Before we let you go, obviously a prominent case being discussed here in Chicago is the shooting death of 13-year-old Adam Toledo by a police officer. Your reaction in that case?
Horrible. Very, very sad. Feel sad for the family, the community, and in our city. But I also feel sad for the police officer. And, I haven't viewed all the evidence in any way, shape, or form. But if, in fact, this police officer believed that Mr. Toledo was turning on him with a gun, then the shooting is justified. And that's not my opinion. It's state law. It's what politicians have signed off on as far as legislation and training and policies go.
Yeah, we had another officer say, look, police officers are trained to shoot with a second's notice, the shoot, don't shoot. And does this come down to a timing issue? Because if he assumed that he was going to turn, he didn't. By the time he turns, and if you see a gun, it would be too late for that officer. So is this a timing thing that the jury at some point might have to assess?
Yeah, it's physics, Larry. There's a perception reaction time that's really non-debatable for an individual in a high-stress situation. For them to perceive a threat and then react to that threat, it's anywhere between 0.7 and 1.5 seconds. And, you can use a sports analogy. We see it all the time. You see a quarterback that throws a pass right into the defensive back. In Chicago, that's normal. But, in a lot of cases, it's because it's not that they didn't see this individual. They saw him, but at the point in which they saw the defensive back, their decision to throw had already started and they couldn't stop.
All right, Dan Herbert, we appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dan.